Welcome to 2nd Street Garden. I'm Erica Berglund. I'm one of the leaders of the garden, and we also have...
Hello, I'm Michelle. I'm also the other leader.
And we're really sorry we couldn't do a meet and greet in person, but obviously we want to stay safe and we want to make sure you can get gardening as soon as possible. So we're just going to take you around the garden and show you what's what. So we're standing outside of the front gate right here, and we have some things to show you. First off, we have our weed pile. So any weeds you have, throw them in the pile. It's all pretty self-explanatory, and then we have a straw pile, which Garden City Harvest will provide straw, usually at the end of our season, so you can put your garden to bed. And then we'll walk around here. There are rocks for whatever reason you might need, or if you have a bunch of rocks in your plot that you're taking out, put them here. All this wire is free for you to use for your garden. Alright, so let's go in the garden. Make sure when you leave the garden you always lock the gate, or actually close the gate. We don't have a lock on it now, but just make sure it's closed behind you so we don't let any critters in.
So this is the part of the garden where we have some communal beds. These first two are not communal, they actually belong to the corner plot. But these back three are communal, and the rule of thumb is that if you contribute, you can take. And we decide as a garden what we plant. So if you are interested in planting in the communal beds, just let us know. We also have some strawberries that we will be replanting, I think this year, but these are also communal. This is the frost-free water spigot. So in order to get water to any of the 5 spigots that are next to your garden plot, this needs to be up before water comes out anywhere else. And then this is something that before you leave, you just make sure if you're the last one to put it down like that. So in order to get water, it needs to be up. And then there's 5 different areas where you can hook a hose up and water your plot. So this is what the hose station looks like. Usually there's going to be a hose hooked up down here. You'll just turn it on after you flip up the frost-free spigot. And then just make sure you wrap the hose when you're done using it around this guy.
And also another note about hoses, when you turn off your hose at the station, make sure you are actually draining the hose as well, so that it doesn't damage the hose. We don't want water while the hose is sitting there, because apparently that damages it.
We also have some communal raspberries right here, and then another little section of communal raspberries right in front of that picnic table, right to your right as you get into the garden.
Our garden has some pathways in between plots, and something we're trying out this year is that each plot will be responsible for the north and the west pathway adjacent to your garden. So just make sure that you're maintaining your pathway and make sure it's weed free so that it's not getting into anyone else's garden. Here we also have our herb wheel, which is also communal. And then we've got our shed. So we have our nicely organized tools, and Michelle and I actually need to do a little cleaning up in here. But here you'll find all the communal tools. We should have mostly everything you need. And if, there's not something you need, you can let us know, and maybe somebody in the garden has it for you. One other thing we have in here is a few of these out-of-town water me signs, which sometimes later in the season when it's really hot and you're out of town for a couple days, fellow gardeners are happy to water your plot, so you can stick that in there and then message someone in the Facebook group and let us know you'll be out of town.
So this is our garden compost area. You're welcome to put anything from your garden in here, or like vegetable, fruit products from your home, or eggshells and stuff like that. We have some volunteers that live nearby that actually take care of this, but if you want to know more, just let us know and we can try to get them to show you guys how it all works. So yeah, you drop it off right there, and then over time the final product is in this last area, and you can use that for your garden, and Garden City Harvest drops them off in the beginning of the season that you can also use.
So on that note, yeah, Garden City Harvest will drop off a big batch of really awesome compost at the beginning of the season, and that'll be in front of the garden in a big pile. And so you'll be allotted 2 5-gallon buckets for your plot for that. And yeah, the rest of the season you are welcome to use our very own compost. What we want to talk about is just making sure you're aware of all the coronavirus guidelines for the garden. So like we said, you're obviously welcome to come garden, and we're very excited that we have this opportunity, right? I know I am itching to get into the garden and get back some of my sanity. But anyway, but just follow the usual guidelines. If you're sick, please stay home. And then just make sure you're washing your hands frequently. Just make a habit of wearing gloves, especially when you're handling tools. Make sure you're maintaining 6-foot distance from other gardeners. And then on that, make sure you're only one person at a time in the shed.